Oh my God, you guys. None of you will believe what I got on July 3rd, 2020. July 3rd, if I don't know what I said, but I mean July 3rd, 2020. Today is July 5th of 2020, and so it was Friday when I got this massive jackpot. Uh, the reason why it's such a massive jackpot is because it's one of my dream consoles that I've always wanted, that I had one time. Well, I still have it, but it's static every time I try to test the system out. And something else I never had. I mean, there was one thing I never had, and it came with one game, and it's called Jurassic Park. And obviously, y'all could probably guess what that is. And the answer I'll tell y'all this: the total retail based on PriceCharting.com, guys. It said I looked up and it said $276.08, and I made a good deal. I got it all for free. I really scored even more than that much money because the total of looking up the other stuff this my friend gave me, he it was over like 350 worth of stuff in total of everything I got. But I got a lot of stuff from them, and out of all things, these are the most things that these are the only gaming stuff I got from them, and this is the most thing I'm excited for. So let me go ahead and show all of you guys what I got. It's a console with an add-on, and let me turn it around, and we got ourselves one of the best consoles ever made on the top. And at the bottom, it's known as it didn't sell well in the United States, but however, this console on top sold very well in the United States of America, and that's the Sega Genesis with the Sega CD. I know, I still can't believe I have this myself. This is what it looks like up close. And then right here is the Genesis. Some of you might be wondering, is that the game that I got for free? The answer is no. I've been having this game for years. Let me put it down gently. And it's called Super Monaco Gp. This is the Sega Genesis game that I've been having for years. And this is one of my favorite racing games of all time. I have to say, this is one of the best racing games on the Sega Genesis, and definitely one of the best racing games of all time. It's called Super Monaco GP. Obviously, y'all could tell. But it's not in perfect shape. It has that little hole in there. But when I tested it out years ago, it worked. I tested it in my original Sega Genesis back in I don't know when, but anyway, it was back in the day. And tested it out. It worked. The game came on, and it had nothing but static in it. In the console, I guess it was because of a bad wire. And when I tried to get it fixed, I couldn't. So I went over 10 years without a working Genesis that worked perfectly, shall I say. And yet, not yesterday, but day before, at the time of making this video on July 5th, 2020, he gave me this Genesis. He messaged me. He said, "Do you want a Sega Genesis with a Sega CD add-on?" I said, "Hell yeah." I'm thinking he wanted some money for it, you know. I was willing to give him some money. And he didn't want to take it, so got it for free. And it comes with a game for the Sega CD, and it's called Jurassic Park. The game is not valuable, and it's just with the disc. It's like $10. But I'm planning on, after seeing that Genesis and got it for free, I'm definitely starting to grow my Sega Genesis collection. Like, I had tons of Genesis games in the past, and it tore up on me. Like, basically what I was saying. So I had to get rid of all my games. except this one remained. And I'm planning on getting every single game that I had in the past and buy them on a Sega Genesis. And so yeah, except this one game I never had in my collection, but I've always wanted it. It's one of the many games that I've always wanted in my collection, and that is Spider-Man on the Sega Genesis, or known as Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin. It was released in 1991, and I remember when I was a kid, they had it at a garage sale for like $2. Back then, I didn't have a Sega Genesis. It was at a garage sale after the Sega Genesis discontinued. And it didn't come with a console or anything, so I couldn't get it. Man, I regret that because because now I got the Sega Genesis and it works fine. And I tested the Sega CD, it works smoothly. And so yeah, I'm very happy and thankful. I got the controller, I got all the cords that it needs, tested it out, it works. So not only the Sega Genesis I'm testing, I'm going to get into more games in the collection, but I'm also going to grow my Sega CD collection. And I noticed the Sega CD games are more pricier than the Sega Genesis games in general. So I'm just going to try to find them if I can somewhere, or go on eBay and get it. But my friend ordered Spider-Man vs. Kingpin for me on the Sega Genesis. But as of now, this is the only game I got in my Genesis collection. And to me, this is one of the best racing games ever made. So this will keep me occupied until Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin comes in. And then I'll be playing the hell out of that. And this game, of course. This racing game came out in 1989, if I'm not mistaken. But I might be wrong. It came out in 1990, one of them. But overall, this game's a good game. I think it was impressive for the time. And when I first played it, I fell in love with this game automatically. So yeah, I would probably give this game about a 9.5 out of 10. And it's one of my favorite Genesis games I've ever played, and I've played many of them. So yeah. So let me go ahead and show all of you what I got one more time, and then I'll end the video. I didn't want to bring all the cords in the video, so I didn't. For the video, so I didn't. Got the Genesis right here. If any of you want me to do a console review on a Sega CD or Sega Genesis, just let me know. So yeah. And let me go ahead and show off that beautiful game that I have one more time. I have Jurassic Park and Sega CD right there. And this one. So really I have two games in my collection. One for the Sega Genesis, one for the Sega CD. So I guess it's even. So yes guys, I hope all of you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope all of you had a nice and wonderful 4th of July yesterday. Feel free to subscribe to me on my The Video Gamer 64 channel, my Mr. Arcade Retro Gamer 64, to see more videos on here. But definitely, mainly, subscribe to my main channel named The Video Gamer 64 to see more videos on here. And this is The Video Gamer 64 and Mr. Arcade Retro Gamer 64 signing off.